نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله أكرمه بالنبوة وجعله رحمة للعالمين. اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك، وصل على وصيه وأخيه أمير المؤمنين وعلى الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة نساء العالمين، وصل على سبتي الرحمة الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة، وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف القائم المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا سقما إلا شفيته، ولا عيبا إلا سترته، ولا رزقا إلا بسطته، ولا خوفا إلا أمنته، ولا سوءا إلا صرفته، ولا حاجة هي لك رضا ولي فيها صلاح إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
This week, alhamdulillah, it was a blessing that I participated in Summit of Peace in Seoul, 2020 Peace Summit in Seoul for 3-4 days. 5,000 people, over 5,000 people from religious, education, business, social and cultural backgrounds from all over the world. They met in Seoul to share their vision, their wisdom, their ideas, how we can make a better world and bring more peace in this world. We know this is not an easy job, making peace. Sometimes even inside the family there are just two individuals, husband and wife, they cannot make peace. And that's why we have so many divorces in this world. So what about when you have 7 billion people, how we want to make peace among all of these? It's very hard. But the cause is so worthy that we must do everything to make it. Never lose our hope, our dreams, our desires, to at least work for it. We can say, Allah, we did our best. And people like in Korea, they understand, they appreciate peace, because like 70 years ago, and the time that they were going through war, before war, after war, all the pains and poverty, and now they enjoy the progress, and they are number 4 in like rate of education in the world. They appreciate peace. Like in Lebanon, when many of you remember the civil war, now people appreciate peace after all the destruction and death and casualties of war. So I was thinking and wishing that, oh God, I hope sometime we Muslims have initiative of this kind of peace conferences. Over 5,000 people, and you pay for their hotel, for their food, and everything is perfectly organized, breakfast, lunch, dinner. But then no time wasting, even a minute. You don't have a time to get out of the hotel. The day you go there and the day you leave the hotel, everything is perfectly organized, that you don't have time to go to souk and do shopping and all of these things. No, everything is in order. So this is a blessing that some people, they are spending their money for great causes like this. And when I'm talking about 5,000 people, not just randomly from the streets, people like Ban Ki-moon, the former Secretary General of United Nations, who received an award in this seminar, in this summit, and he spoke about his dream of global citizenship. It's a great idea. And he said that we say Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is coming. It's a global justice and global citizenship. That means that already people are talking about it. At least it's not impossible when we say Imam Mahdi and global, justice, global peace is something that even now people are talking about the necessity of such a thing. And we have the former Bishop of Jerusalem and Jordan, that he spoke about moderation and fighting extremism. I had this blessing to address part of the time in this summit and talking about dialogue as one of the paths for peace. We need to have dialogue, and especially in the Quran, mentioned in 5-6 verses, the verse of Ta'alaw, قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ تَعَالَوْا إِلَى كَلِمَةٍ سَوَاءٍ. Join us, come, let's get together and focus on the things that unite us. Find the central united truth in this universe. Let us get together. Ta'ala, come, join us. The word in the Quran, لِتَعَارَفُوا وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. Different religions, different races, different colors. But then the point is, ta'arafu, you know each other. I mean, if all was just one color, was boring. I mean, if everything was just white, everything was black, everything was blue, everything was yellow. But these different colors contribute to the beauty of life. The word بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ in Surah Al-Nahl, أُدْعُ إِلَى سَبِيلِ رَبِّكَ بِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. That dialogue based on wisdom, good words, and doing this dialogue in the most beautiful way. بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. The verse number 4 from Surah Al-Ma'idah, تعاونوا وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان, that communicate based on cooperation to promote piety and justice. That is the purpose of dialogue. Another word in the Quran, أصلحوا, in Surah Al-Anfal, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَأَصْلِحُوا ذَاتَ بَيْنِكُمْ. The purpose of communication and dialogue is to bring reconciliation, that people share fairness and forgiveness and reconcile among themselves. The verse number 6 in Surah Al-Baqarah, 148, فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ أَيْنَمَا تَكُونُوا يَأْتِ بِكُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا. That no matter where you are on this planet, participate in a competition for contributing what is the best. Al-Khayrat, what is the best for humanity in education, in morality, in business, in culture. What is best in everything? فَاسْتَبِقُوا, do a musabiqah to achieve what is the best for all. So these 6 verses, in addition to many other verses that tell us that dialogue by itself is not enough. If there is no recognition and no resistance against injustice, oppression, discrimination, greed and racism, ignorance and arrogance. So to bring peace, we need to fight the obstacles of peace. What are the enemies of peace? We have to deal with them, remove the enemies and the obstacles of peace. And there is a list of that I explain a little about that. And one of them, of course, is ignorance. People fight out of ignorance. Like Al-Harb Shi'ia and Sunni, the ISIS brought that hatred and that mentality out of ignorance. When there is religion but no rationality, that's dangerous. La dina liman la aqla lah. If there is no ta'aqqul and tafakkur, then really faith and religion cannot do that. Those people, they claim religion, but because of the ignorance, I mean, it's the same Quran, but they interpret it ignorantly. Shia says Quran, Sunni says Quran, even ISIS, they said Quran. But then if there is no real ta'aqqul, like American Constitution, Democrats are talking about Constitution, Republicans are talking about Constitution, but then you already have Trump, 180 degrees. He does whatever he wants and still it's impeachment. It doesn't matter if he lies or he abused or did anything. Who cares about these things? He's the president. And they said, this is what the Constitution says. They interpret Constitution this way. So it depends how you interpret something. One of the people that I met in this Seoul summit was Dr. William McComish. He is British, but he is one of the authors of Geneva Spiritual Appeal. That in 1999, a group of scholars of all religions, they met in Geneva and they asked all the leaders of religions and politics. They asked every leader in this world with 3 demands. They call it a spiritual appeal of Geneva. They asked 3 things. After his lecture, I went and I said, I like what you said. Do you have a text? And he gave me the paper that he had all these 3 demands of religious and political leaders. Demand number 1 from all religious and political leaders in the world. Number 1, a refusal to invoke religion to justify violence of any kind. Don't use religion to promote violence. Number 2, a refusal to invoke religion to justify discrimination and exclusion. You cannot claim religion to be religious, but at the same time support discrimination among people. Don't do that. And demand number 3, a refusal to exploit or dominate others by the means of strength. Just because you have power, don't oppress people by the means of power. The philosophy of might is right. So, oh, I have power, then I can do whatever. Don't do that.
Like Trump.
Well, there are many examples. Trump is just one of them. Al-haqq liman ghalab. Isn't it that some, they say that al-haqq liman ghalab? Means if you ghalabta, if you won the war, then you are right. Like the Israelis, they said, forget about it. It was 1967. We won that war, and khalas, Palestinian, you lost the war now. Let us recognize that. This is why somebody like Jared Kushner, he told them, represented the president, he said that, you know, you get the entire Jerusalem. Jerusalem is yours. Okay, get it. You get all those 230 settlements that you built on occupied Palestinian territories. Forget about occupation, that's yours. You know, Sahatain, that's yours too. And number 3, the Golan Heights, that's yours too. يعني الرجل يقدم شيئا لا يملكه ويقدمه لشخص لا يستحقه. He gives something that he doesn't own to somebody who doesn't deserve. And you say, how can you do such a thing? He said, because we fought and we won the war. So don't talk about return of like the refugees and, you know, east of Jerusalem. Khalas, finish. They say, how can you do such a thing? Well, Ben Salman said is okay, Ben Zayed said is okay, and Ben Isa, there is yani مثلث الشياطين الثلاثة, they okay the two. So who are they to be so generous about giving somebody's land to somebody else? واحد من كتاب الفلسطينيين, he wrote something that he said that although the deal of the century was like was the worst, not the best, but it has some positive thing at the same time. بالرغم أن هذه الصفقة هي أسوأ شيء في تاريخ القضية الفلسطينية، إلا أن لها جوانب إيجابية. إنها وحدت الشعب الفلسطيني سلطة ومعارضة ومقاومة وأحزابا بصوت عال وصريح عدم قبولهم واعترافهم بها، فتحولت المحنة إلى منحة والأزمة إلى فرصة. That at least, you know, whatever President Trump's intention to help Israelis, but he helped the Palestinians who were fighting among themselves. Now they are absolutely united against this deal, because they said that just because you have might, you don't have right. And this is part of that Geneva spiritual appeal, that don't use strength to exercise injustice and dominate over other people, because I'm mighty, then I'm right. That is not true. But another point that I mentioned in the Seoul Summit, that dialogue is the way to make peace, and also fighting the obstacles of peace, but at the same time, the most important thing, establishment of justice. The things that I've been quoting from Martin Luther King many times, that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. When he said that we all either learn to live like brothers or perish as fools. Justice is fundamental issue. When I finished the lecture, lots of people, or the Muslims, non-Muslims, the imams, the priests, some people of politics, business, they came to me and they were asking for a copy of the lecture. I said, I put it on the Facebook and I emailed you a copy of that, and I did so. I did send it to them, and it was very happy. They were very happy, and I was so happy of taking advantage of these opportunities. And they are paying millions and millions and millions of dollars to put a conference of over 5,000 people flying from all over the world to one city, and then having opportunity to address these people. I was so happy and so grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But apparently, when I left South Korea, not everybody else was happy with what happened over there. I went to the airport yesterday. As a matter of fact, I have to fly to Washington tonight because, alhamdulillah, there is another conference, this time Shi'a and Sunni. Then now we are learning to do something as well. Nothing compared to Seoul Summit, but we are starting something. And especially for the first time in DC, Shia and Sunni imams, they meet to discuss this diversity, these divisions, differences, and controversy and conflicts among the communities. So I had a chance to go directly to DC, but I said I don't want to miss Friday prayer. It's very hard to make all this, stop and start flights back and forth, but it's worth it, and I'm glad, alhamdulillah, that be with you today. I went to the airport yesterday in Seoul. The flight was around 11 a.m. yesterday, and I was there like 3 hours in advance. And I give my passport to the guy on the Delta desk. He checked it, he moved the passport through that computer, through that machine, and something wrong. He asked a lady next to him to help him. The lady came and she looked at the passport and information. She couldn't help him either. They called the supervisor, and supervisor took a telephone, and I had to sit down there. It took an hour. They said, we are talking with Delta in Detroit. To finally, it went through. And I knew that there is something going on. I'm getting ready. I said, if it took me 1 hour in Seoul, God knows how many hours in Detroit. When plane landed yesterday here, and subhanAllah, we departed Seoul at 11 a.m., and we were here around like 9:30 a.m. the same day, right? After flying for 12 hours, the difference of time. So a lady in Delta, flight attendant, she said that, please everybody be seated. We have the security, they are asking for some people. They opened the gate and she said, Muhammad Ali Elahi. I said, my goodness, I'm the first one. So when I came at the gate, I said, my goodness, more than 10 officers over there. I said, I'm so important. Everybody is waiting for me. But then I saw 2 of them were not uniform. Everybody has uniform. And these 2 politely came to me and, they wanted me to walk with them. It took me downstairs and went to the room. It took 3 hours from 9 a.m. till after 12 o'clock, more than 3 hours. Really, they check everything, the things from my pocket, put it there, and, suitcase, the luggage, every paper, and finally even the cell phone that, they wanted for the passport. You have to give it to them legally. The good thing is that, they were polite. I said, my goodness. Now they are asking me questions like, this is the first time I came to United States. I'm here 30 years and, citizen and all of this thing, but asking your name and your brother name and your sister name, where they live and how they live, and the whole story of my life all over again. And then he asked for my cell phone, and he said, don't worry, it just takes 10 minutes. I'm going to come back soon. And I said, so why are you doing all of this thing? He said, you know us, you know me, and I know you. I checked your website of House of Wisdom, and I have all this information. He said, you know, this started from 1979. He's talking about Islamic Revolution in Iran. I said, what about people in Yemen? They didn't have 1979 revolution, not in Syria, not, you know, in Sudan. You are doing the same thing to them as well. So you have to answer the questions. Very sad, very bad, very frustrating. But at least they were polite. I know the other poor people who come, they are not citizens and they just have their visa, and some of them, they are taken like at the airport in a small room for 2-3 days for waiting for the next flight to return them back. I mean, that is a horrible, horrible situation. So what is really our duty in a situation like that? And especially in 2020 and election is coming, things are not good. But not to give up, not to lose our hope, but stand united as a community, as a country, and fight for justice, for democracy, for freedom, for religious liberty and freedom, and trust the consciousness of this nation. There are so many good people in this country that they understand the problem. Believe me, even these officers, at least they were telling me, I don't know from their heart or not, but they were saying that, believe me, I don't like this situation. I don't like that I have to ask you as an imam of the community all these questions. But this is something from out of my office. Like this is order coming from DC or somewhere else, and I have to do it, and I have to, after you, sit down and hours and write a report and all of these things. But this is something. I said, no, I'm glad that at least I made a job for you guys here, so I made a job for you. And he said, I don't want this job. I don't enjoy this job. I said, you know, what can I do? One of the big issues, brothers and sisters, in society when we deal with peace and freedom is fear. You know, this fear-mongering that people are scared to speak, not just us in the mosque, people in the Congress. I mean, you see the senators, they are scared to talk. You experienced during this impeachment, the senators, they are scared, the fear. You remember that only one of them, that was Mitt Romney, right? That he said, well, president did something wrong and he's guilty. But every other Republican senator, whether out of fear or out of greed or out of election, whatever the reason, people don't want to tell the truth. But that doesn't mean that we stop dialogue and we give up our rights, because we as American citizens, we care for this country, we love this country, and we defend the democracy of this country, and we stand for the constitution of this country. And even the time that we criticize out of caring for the country, because we know that the country is damaged. And I said it in Seoul when the Secretary of Commerce, he says, you know, this coronavirus is good for America, it's create jobs. I said, it's shame, people are dying and you are saying this is good for our economy. And they're Pompeo, the others, they are saying that, you know, warning the world that, oh, China in 5G, they are advancing. Okay, why we don't advance? Why we are now worried about them get domination over technology? We have the best technology and let us do it ourselves. But when you put your policy on maximum pressure on everybody, and you want to fight everybody, and the Chinese, they act smart. Instead of pressure, they bring pleasure through business for themselves and others. So do it in the right way, instead of being worried and fighting that some people may get in advance. So I was so happy of being able to represent you and our community in a summit of over 5,000 religious, political leaders or activists and peacemakers from all over the world, that they can hear the beauty of our religion, a religion that calls for peace and justice and dialogue, and brings hope to humanity. That means that, of course, our job is hard, brothers and sisters. We have to talk about it, and we have to try to make it. It's not just talk about peace, but to make peace. And to make peace, we need action. And we can act if we are united. Allahumma inna nashku ilayka faqd nabiyyina wa ghaybata waliyina wa kathrat aduwina وشدة الفتن بنا فصل على محمد وآله وأعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجله ونصر تعزه وسلطان حق تظهره. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات وتابع بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات. وإلى الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.